So we got Coach stepping up now. Coach, can you hear us okay?
I can.
We're ready.
All right. So we had a couple of people get banged up a little bit. Hamilton hurt his groin. Darrell Williams, his ankle. Frank Clark was sick. Sammy got a hit to the head, but I thought was very questionable on why, anyways, he got hit to the head. So we're not supposed to have those in our game here. But Damian Wilson, he passed all the protocol. Hitch came out for a bit with a stinger, and he went back in. He was fine. So, listen, it was a tough team win is what it was. It was like every time we play these guys, it comes down to something like this. And I was proud of our guys for battling through, and things weren't going very well for us and on either side of the ball. But the guys rallied it. And I got the utmost respect for Anthony Lynn and his coaches, Gus Bradley, the guys. You talk about coaches that work against you, and I know their schemes and their players and how they play those things. It's incredible. So we come out of it with a ton of room to improve, and we'll do that. I think we were very efficient offensively, and again, tribute to pounding through. Patrick made some nice plays with his legs. Defensively, we got to keep working on our tackling. These are early season things that you see. We got to do better there. Snead came up with a big turnover for us that was really helped us kind of get things going in the right direction. And then Bucker, what can you say? He kicked 4 field goals and 2 of them counted. But that's a tough thing to do, and he's a mentally tough kid, and we appreciate him and how he goes about his job. Anyways, with that, time's yours.
Go first to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Andy, I just want to clarify real quick. Brad, I'll have a follow-up here. Just want to clarify, is Sammy in the concussion protocol?
I'll get you that later. I can't tell you that right this minute. He's, I presume he is, but I don't have that for you right now.
Okay. On the Butker kick at the end of the game, after the false start penalty, how difficult of a decision was that? And I don't know how good your view was of the Pat's long touchdown pass to Hill, but do you feel like there's another quarterback who can make that throw?
Not rolling it like that. I just thought that was a spectacular throw, and then for 10 to make that grab, I mean, that was a great catch. And those two have a special connection between them, and we keep seeing it week after week, year after year here. So it's it's time tested, and 10 was exhausted. I mean, he ran like a center fielder there in soccer, so a midfielder, and he put in a lot of miles. And he reached down deep and kept it going. He also had some big catches there too down the stretch, which were good.
Let's go next to Sam McDowell. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Andy. How much did their defensive line just sort of disrupt what you mentioned? You've got some room to improve offensively. How much did their defensive line sort of disrupt the rhythm of your offense there, especially in the first 3 quarters?
Yeah, so I think just all in all, we have room to improve, myself included. So putting our players in better position. So, but they've got a great defensive front. I mean, that's what they have. And the one thing our guys do is they kept battling right down the end. When we needed big plays, we were able to get big plays. When we were able to protect, and a lot of Patrick to pop out and run, and those are also big things there. But I just thought the guys reached down and battled. Both teams were exhausted, I think, and you talk to them too. I mean, it's all part of this, but it's early in the season, so I think both teams reached down and tried to grab what they had left.
Let's go next to Herbie. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned a tough team win, and I know during the week of practice, you prepared for Tyrod Taylor. When a team throws out a rookie quarterback like Justin Herbert today, how tough is that adjustment process as the game goes on?
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel bad for Tyrod. I mean, being hurt, I know he'd look forward to playing us. And, we get the young kid, and he did a great job. I thought he managed the game well, and they ran the ball well, and then he made plays where he needed to. He just, he had a turnover in there, so those things come back and bite you a little bit. That's what ended up happening.
Let's go next to Sam Mellinger. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Andy, the protection, I know you mentioned, and obviously they've got a great defensive front, but do you have a sense for how many of those protection problems were just them being that good, and how much of that was, stuff you guys could have done better?
Well, I'd tell you they're pretty good, and they're going to get you. I mean, that's how that rolls. Like, when you play this team, they're going to get you every once in a while. So you just got batting it down, and again, I could help out the guys better with some play calls.
Let's go next to Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey, Coach, I imagine the game winner, you felt a little bit more comfortable from 53 and then 58 because he had made that initial 58. I just was curious what went into that thought process, conversations with Dave and Harrison to say, we think he has his range today.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of wind down there, so that's a good thing. Actually, a little bit like the greenhouse effect. I mean, it was warm down there. So we said 40 before the game, either way, and he felt comfortable with it. I mean, you saw that. I mean, he kicked enough of them from there that you got a pretty good idea what Dave was feeling before the game. So, yeah.
Let's go next to Sarin Petro. Go ahead, Sarin.
Coach, I mean, a win's a win in the NFL. You've said many times about how, getting that's what it's all about. And I know teams have tough days, right? You guys had a tough day and you got to win. That's the mark of a good team. But, you had a couple kind of mental miscues. One, McCole Hardman didn't touch down. The guy who came up with the interception, of course, got called back. It didn't cost you. And Tyreek Hill took his helmet off after the touchdown. Again, didn't get called. Is that kind of indicative of this, just what you guys just weren't in sync today, right? Again, you found a way to win, but mentally, guys just weren't sharp.
Oh, we got to do better. Especially, I didn't see tens, but I didn't know if his helmet got knocked off or he took it off. I don't know that, but I can tell you, 17 will learn from that. He's a real smart kid. He won't let that happen. He's trying to make a play, and then ended up being an interception. He didn't really know what was going on there, but he's got no excuse. He's got to touch the guy down, but he'll learn from it. And that's how he does, and it won't happen to him again.
Let's go next to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, Andy, I just wanted to ask you about Patrick's play on 3rd and 20, the scramble to get 22 yards to keep you guys in the advantage to go to overtime. Just what does it say that he can make a play when the defense does the correct call, even though you guys, obviously try to put players in an advantage?
Yeah, well, listen, he did the same thing in Detroit last year. Things weren't going very well, and here he pops off a couple runs, and big one like that, same type of deal. He's a great player, I mean, he loves the game, and he loves when it's on the line. I mean, he wants the ball. A lot of guys, I think, shy away from that. He wants it, and he's got guys around him that want it. So, and are willing to reach down deep in a situation like that.
Let's go next to Aaron Ladd. Go ahead, Aaron.
Coach, we hear so much about the 2019 team and obviously their championship run, but when you got out a tough win like this one where you don't play your best ball, what does it tell you about the makeup of this year's team, especially some of the young guys that stepped up on defense?
Yeah, listen, it's you have to be able to do this in this league. There's just too much parity in the league. That's a very talented football team, and so you got to. There are going to be times like this where if things aren't working, you can't just back. You got to go 4 quarters of aggressive football, and that's what our guys did. I mean, that throw that Pat made to 10, and then 10 making the catch on it on the deep one, that was a thing of beauty. And so they bear down, and they made big plays down the stretch. And go from a number of different guys. I didn't mention our young running back and the things that he did. Our defense stepping up and just putting the hammer down, at the end there. So giving us an opportunity to win the game. And badgered, just getting after guys and making sure that we're doing the right thing, especially these young corners. We just did it with two young corners, man. And what a great opportunity for them. So we expect when you step in that you raise your game and let's go, man. Let's go. And you got to see that today.
We've got time for a couple more. Let's go Adam Teicher and then Sam Farmer. Go ahead, Adam.
And you just wanted to double back on the Harrison Butker thing. After the false start penalty, how difficult of a decision was that for you to try that again after he made it once from 53 and once from 58 when they called timeout?
No, not at all. Full trust in them. I wanted to make sure the protection was right. They did a good job of kind of overloading, and I just want to make sure our protection was good. The guys tightened it up. We had the one extra point block there, so it was good. Good to get that taken care of.
Let's finish it off with Sam Farmer. Go ahead, Sam. Sam.
It's your
Sorry, Andy.
There you go.
What was the precise moment that you knew you'd be getting Herbert as opposed to Tyrod? And what most impressed you about the guy, who hadn't had any preseason games or anything?
If he just found out before the game, that was a heck of a job. So, pretty spectacular. Then that's when we found out, and we had no idea. So I'm not sure they had an idea. I don't know. I was told that the other kid, Tyrod, got hurt or hurt himself in the warm-ups. Doesn't happen very often in a quarterback, but he's got to be hurting for him to pull out like that. He's got to be really hurting.
Coach, we really appreciate your time today. Thanks for joining us.
Take care. Thank you.
All right, guys, hang tight, and we'll get, I believe Patrick is up next, but we'll give you a shout before we walk up. We can hear you. Hey, Patrick, you got us okay?
Gotcha.
All right, let's start with Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Pat. Was wondering your confidence level in the 58-yard field goal to win the game for you after a false start penalty pushed you guys back. And then if you could take us through a couple plays, your 20-some-yard run to set up that field goal to put you in OT, and then the pass to Tyreek, the touchdown, the long one.
As far as the field goal, I had 100% confidence in Bucker every time he's on the field. And then the runs, the run, obviously 3rd and 20. At that time when I took off running, I was more worried about trying to get in field goal range to get Bucker to be able to tie the game. But then I was able to get the first down, and we were almost able to kind of put a touchdown in there before regulation ended. And then the throw to Tyreek was a play that we had game planned for. We wanted to run it earlier in the game, but we couldn't get to the right situation to run it. And so we were able to get it off, and I just put it out there as far as I can on the run, and Tyreek made a heck of a catch in double coverage.
Next to Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Pat, it seemed like early you were just under a ton of pressure. I'm wondering how you managed, especially early in the game and then carrying especially into the fourth quarter, how you managed to get comfortable and start to see some runs and really pull this thing out.
Early in the game, especially that first quarter, I think I just wasn't playing up to par. There was stuff there. We had throws there, and I just wasn't making the right read, or I was making bad throws. And then as the game went on, I mean, that D-line is going to get through. I mean, they have great players over there. And after I got hit a couple times, it kind of settled me back in, and I was able to find a way at the end of the game to put up enough points to get the win.
Let's go next to Aaron Ladd. Go ahead, Aaron.
Patrick, you've been a young starter before. You look across and you see what Herbert did today. What do you think about what his first game looked like?
I mean, he played his tail off, man. I mean, he really did. Our defense shows a lot of different coverages, a lot of different looks, and for him to be able to move the ball down the field and get points on the board, I mean, I thought he did a great job. I got a joke with him. I was like, just maybe protect yourself on some of those runs. But, I mean, he ran the ball well. He threw the ball well, and it was a heck of a first start for him.
Let's go next to Sam Mellinger. Go ahead, Sam.
On some of those runs, was there something specific they were doing defensively that kind of opened that up for you? Was that just a matter of nobody's open, I got to go do this?
No, I mean, they were playing coverage. I mean, it was just they were playing coverage. They were getting, and our offensive line was giving me time, but they were getting so depth that we couldn't find ways to get open. And so the thing about them playing coverage and being so deep is that they don't have a guy for me. And so I was able to run and get some yards downfield. And so it's just trying to find whatever way to win. I think that's the biggest thing. Teams are going to stay back and guard our receivers. I'm going to have to find ways with my feet to make stuff happen.
Let's go next to Harold Kuntz. Go ahead, Harold.
Hey, Patrick, congratulations on the win. When it comes to how you were playing in the first half, you mentioned this a little bit, but then not to play the cleanest game, but to still come out with a victory and a tough one in overtime. What does it say about your team to come through without the clean game, then to still get that with W?
Yeah, it means a lot. I mean, obviously we didn't play the way we wanted to play, but to find a way to win. I think that when you get to the playoffs or when you get to later in the season and then trying to make these runs, not every game's going to be a blowout. Not every game you're going to be winning the whole entire game. There's going to be difficult situations. I mean, there's great football players all around this league. And so we have to find a way to win no matter what adversity hits us and no matter what situation we're in the game.
Let's go next to Sam McDowell. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Patrick, just to go back to that Tyreek play, kind of two parts on that. First of all, is there ever a time where it computes through your head that you're wondering, can I make this throw? I mean, if it's 55 yards, you're on the run, you just have sort of no doubt that you can make that throw. And second of all, how much do you feel like that sort of opened things up for you guys? Because you guys certainly offensively were moving the ball much better after that play.
Yeah, I think we kind of found a rhythm there at the end of the game where we were able to move the ball and find ways to get the ball down the field and take shots when they're there. I think the best thing with these guys, when you have Tyreek, McCole, D-Rob, and Sammy, is it's almost if I throw the ball further than those defenders, I mean they're gonna get there. And so that's what I'm trying to do: put it out there, let those guys make plays. And Tyreek made it. I mean, it was a good throw, but he made a heck of a catch running over his shoulder like that with the angle the ball was coming.
Got time for a couple more. Let's go Sarin and then Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Sarin.
Patrick, you're always an emotional guy, right? And we could see you getting excited and everything, but we could also see you getting frustrated. And it seemed like there were a lot of times that, and it speaks, as it's already been said, to win on a day like when you guys aren't at your best. that's the sign of a champion. But was this maybe the most frustrating you felt, maybe the most frustrated you've been in your career?
I don't know about in my career. I mean, I've been frustrated in times in games, but I think I was so frustrated at the beginning of the game because I knew it was just me that was killing the team. I mean, guys were getting open. The line was giving me enough time, but I wasn't making the throws in the right spots. And so I took that upon myself. I have to find a way to start better, not put ourselves in a hole like that, and so it's not so hard at the end of the game.
Let's finish with Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, Patrick, just wanted to ask you the idea of waiting for your moments, being patient, like you mentioned last week. Just what does it say that you were able to do that and still make the moment happen with obviously Tyreek? And then secondly, because you have Harrison and because of the confidence, how much does this add to the dynamic of the offense where you don't feel like you have to necessarily take risks because you know you have security in your field goal kicker?
Yeah, the first part, I think just being able to attack and be able to take advantage of the moment. I think we did a good job of that late in the game, and we were able to find ways to score and get us back in that game, and to where we got to overtime, and then found ways to get down the field. And I think having Harrison, I mean, it's special. I mean, obviously in overtime in that situation, you're trying to score. You want to score a touchdown. But knowing that at the same time of trying to score, we kind of got in that second and long, I was like, if I can just get it to around the 40, he's going to make it. And I have full confidence in that. I mean, it's something that is truly special and gets underlooked. But when it comes to times like these, those are the moments that win you football games.
Patrick, we really appreciate you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, guys, I believe we have Tyreek Hill coming up next. All right. Hey, Tyreek, you got us?
Hang on. Yes, I got you.
Thank you. Let's start with Sam McDowell. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Tyreek, just pretty simple one here. Can you just take us through that 55-yard touchdown from the moment you saw that Patrick was going to throw it to the moment you caught it there?
Well, I kind of knew he was going to throw it. You know, I'm like the primary receiver in that route. And, you know, Pat, you know, he does a good job just trusting us down the field, you know, just trusting us, you know, being able to make a play over those DBs. You know, so I was fortunate enough to be on the other end of it. So.
Let's go next to Cody Tapp. Go ahead, Cody.
Do you think that the Chargers give you guys more trouble than other teams you've seen? The last few times out, they've done a little bit better job holding you guys down than most of the rest of the league.
Right. Well, I think they do a very good job, you know. But, I mean, I feel that way about every team, you know, that we play. So, I mean, we just got to get better and not shoot ourselves in the foot, you know. So, we will be better next week.
Let's go to Matt Derrick. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Tyreek. After the end of that touchdown play, your helmet came off. Did you take your helmet off, or did it come out as a part of the catch and go into the ground?
Nah. So actually, when I fell, my helmet came off. You know, so I would never take my helmet off. You know, I feel like, you know, when I'm on the field, it's my responsibility to always keep my helmet on. I mean, that's one of Coach Reid's biggest pet peeves. Him and you be taking your helmet off after a touchdown. I would never do that. You know, so if it did look like that, I promise you, I didn't take my helmet off. You know, it was coming off. My helmet came off. So.
Let's go next to Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Tyreek, I was just wondering in general. I mean, I know that by this point it's almost becoming expected for you guys to come back in these games. But what does it say about this team that it really felt dire today and you guys managed to pull it out?
Well, at first, man, the energy level wasn't there. You know, we had to lean on a few guys, you know, to get us going. You know, we had D-Rob getting us going on the sideline, telling the wideouts down for the defense. You know, we had Pat obviously getting us going. We had Kelsey, you know. So we had the guys, you know, rallying and building energy on the sideline for the offense. You know, and it was great. You know, so next week, like I said, I mean, like, playing and stadium with no fans, I will say, is like the weirdest thing ever. You know, it's almost like a scrimmage, you know, and it kind of felt weird for me at first. That's why the first quarter I didn't feel like myself, you know, because I'm a wideout. I'm a punt return specialist, so I feed off the crowd. That's what I do, you know. So next week, I mean, I'm sure Coach Reid and EB and Spags, we're gonna do a good job. We're gonna practice simulating crowd noises, energy, whatever that may be.
We've got time for a few more guys. We'll go right down the line. Nate, Harold, and then Adam to close it out. Go ahead, Nate.
Rick, I just wonder how much of last year's postseason run, being down double digits, especially in the Super Bowl in the fourth quarter, how much did that feel similar today, and how much can you use that because you guys do play so well in the fourth quarter of close games?
Well, you try not to live in the past so much, because that's our mentality, and that's what Coach BB and Coach Reid, they always tell us, you can't live in the past, you got to look forward. So, like I said, we just can't shoot ourselves in the foot early on, with penalties, with drop passes from myself, and just lack of effort. I feel like I'm gonna speak for myself. I didn't give second and third effort, blocking for 2-5 down the field as I should every play. Was it there are some plays? Yes, but I didn't give it to them. Like every play. So we got to be better in those situations. Because those plays, blocking down the field are what creates the big plays down the field first.
Let's go next to Harold Kuntz. Go ahead, Harold.
Tyreek, Mahomes only had 60 yards of passing in the first half, and then 90 yards of penalties overall. Kind of the complete opposite of last week. We only had 5 yards of penalties. Just what was this? What went into that, and how did you correct that going into halftime?
Well,
second half.
Yeah, we came in during the halftime. Obviously, we said what we had to say, but Pat, set the whole offense down. Pat was talking about, hey guys, we got to step up, play. Who's he gonna do? Leaders. I need y'all to be more vocal to your groups and just, and just show up. So we lean on each other, to make plays, and that's how it is on this team. Like let's say for instance, Kelsey comes and makes a 50-yard catch. Like that's gonna create energy for myself, for Sammy, for Mighty Mouse, for like all those other guys. So that's what just the energy level, and just awareness of time. So
We'll go to Adam Teicher for the last one. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Tyreek, regarding that long touchdown pass you caught, do you feel like many other quarterbacks besides Pat could have made that kind of throw on the run?
I could have made that throw because I'm like a future quarterback. But any other quarterback? No, I don't think so. It's tough. Pat, I feel like he's in the lane of his own. Pat, probably Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, probably them two or Russell Wilson. Them three. I say them three, but Pat, me being like fast and just Pat having the arm strength and the accuracy, just just to trust you, just to go that, just amazing to me. So it was a great ball. He kind of overthrew me because I had to lean forward for it a little bit, but it was a good ball though.
Tyreek, we appreciate your time today. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, buddy. Thanks, guys.
All right, guys. We got Harrison coming up to the podium next. Hey, Harrison, you got us okay?
Yeah, let me move this laptop back just a little bit.
I want you just step back one step for me. There you go. Perfect. Let's start with Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Harrison, an unreal job at the end there where you had to have the 3 kicks. I was wondering what was going through your mind as you had to do it 3 times and then the eventual game winner.
I think I just got a little bit more angry every kick. So the first one, I thought they called timeout, and then I realized it was a false start. But going into the second one, they called timeout again. So in my head, that's 2 timeouts. And then I think I even looked at the sideline because I was like, come on, man, I'm trying to finish this game and get back to Kansas City. So that third one, I felt like was my best kick. And I mean, to have 2 practice kicks before that is only going to help you. And I'm just really happy that we were able to stay through from the blocked extra point. We have a great field goal unit, James Winchester and Tommy holding the ball, and we were able to put it through. But that's stuff that we do in practice, and we were able to transfer it over to the game.
Next to Blair Kirkhoff. Go ahead, Blair.
Hey, Harrison, did just kicking on this field in a new stadium, did you get any pregame knowledge that helped you in the game?
Not really pregame knowledge, but during the week, I did a little research and read an article that the turf in SoFi Stadium was the same turf used for the Texans and the Cowboys stadiums. And I thought I had good games whenever we kicked there as well. So I wasn't too worried. And then after the first couple kicks, I was used to the turf. I think it's really nice. It almost feels like you're kicking on grass. I felt really good today, and I had a great warm up, and then was able to continue that in the game.
Let's go next to Sam Mellinger. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Harrison, you just used the term like 2 practice kicks before the third one. I know you have no choice but to look at it as a positive, but when teams try to ice you like that, I mean, do you feel more confident the next time you get a swing at it?
I think every kicker is different. I definitely felt more confident. The 53-yarder, I didn't like the way it kind of curved left. I made an adjustment with Tommy. As far as our aiming point, we aimed farther right for the 58-yarder, but the 58-yarder is a longer kick. I swung a little harder, and that one kind of hugged the left upright. And then for that last kick, I had the same aiming point, and I think I just slowed down my leg swing a little bit and hit a better rotating ball and a better ball, and I thought it went down pretty much the middle.
Go next to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Harrison. Hey, congratulations. You remember we talked about your maybe increased range when camp started, if you remember. Do you feel like the things you did in the offseason enabled you to the Chiefs maybe to be confident in you trying these kinds of kicks? And do you feel like you maybe would have made these kicks earlier in your career, even last season?
Last season, I don't know if I would have been as consistent from that distance. If you look back to 2017 against the Texans, same turf, like I said, 49-yarder at the end of the game, barely made it over. So I definitely have a stronger leg than I did in 2017. Last year, I had a pretty strong leg, but did not have the accuracy. This offseason, I was able to make a lot of long kicks, and then going into training camp, I really wanted to show the coaches I could be consistent from that distance. I thought I was in training camp, and then a day like today where you're indoors, basically no wind, I was able to hit from 67 before the game and 70 at halftime. Coach Tobe knew that, and he told Coach Reid that if we get to the 40-yard line, we'll be good. That'd be a 58-yarder, and I can just swing easy. I don't need to change anything. But last year, I don't think I would have made all 3 of those. Hopefully, I would have made the last one, but I definitely feel stronger and more accurate this season.
Got time for a couple more. Let's go Darren and then Nate. Go ahead, Darren. Darren, you got us?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, Harrison, congratulations. I know you tied Nick Lowry twice today on his franchise record. Look, according to what you were saying earlier, what you did in the offseason by training, by kicking longer field goals, that allows you to, in essence, strengthen your leg and strengthen how far you can kick. If you could have done it from further than 58, how much confidence did they have? And then also talk about the fact that you were able to tie the franchise record today twice.
As I said, I made the 70-yarder at halftime. I told Coach Tobe that, so he was feeling confident. So I'd say if it was on the, the 52-yard line or the 48-yard line, that'd be a 70-yard field goal. I would have felt good making that kick. I don't know if Coach Reid would have let me, but if it was the end of the game situation, a long 4th down, I would have felt confident going into that. And then, I didn't know that Nick Lowry had the record for 58 yards. I'm fortunate to be a part of a great organization. I was able to make 56 yards last year. Now at 58, I guess I got to break the record and beat Nick Lowry. Hopefully next week, Monday Night Football.
Let's go to Nate Taylor to close us out. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, Harrison, just wanted to ask you, because the Chiefs are so known for scoring touchdowns, you obviously wanted to be a part of the offense. I just wonder, how much do you think people around the country, around the football industry are understanding your element to the offense, where once they get past midfield, you can obviously come into play? And then how much of that was your thought process this offseason to be an addition to the offense in that sort of way?
I've been accurate throughout my career, 2017, 2018, 2019. I think for me to take it to the next level, I have to have some longer kicks. In 2018, my long was 54, which is okay, kind of middle of the park. Last year, making a 56-yarder was big. But now, as I said, I feel comfortable from 58 and beyond. I think that's what I got to start doing to separate myself from the rest of the kickers in the league, is start making longer field goals, and I feel confident doing that. And obviously, I'm super thankful for Coach Tobe and Coach Reid for trusting me and letting us attempt those long field goals.
Harrison, thanks for joining us today. We appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, guys, that's all we got for today. We'll get you guys a